Hi, and welcome to episode 28 of Catherine's Low Income Prepping and Survival. I hope everyone's doing good out there. It is June 15th, 2023. Here, let me rub my nose here. I can't seem to get away with not doing that. Earlier, I was clearing my throat a lot. I had tried to make a video, and for some reason, it wouldn't upload. Let's hope that this one is uploading. How the war machine marches on. They're having people evacuate from Taiwan, according to what some news things said on the internet. They're moving people out of Taiwan, probably afraid that the Chinese are going to invade. They're asking Americans to leave. So this will be interesting to see what happens with that. See whether or not we stand behind Taiwan as we're standing behind Ukraine. I think we should. I think it's going to be an all-out war with the Chinese. And I think that Ukraine's going to turn into an all-out war between NATO and all the other countries and the countries that side with the Russians. Now I got a fly flying at me. That's interesting. It's just like people don't want me to make a video tonight. So let's look at things. I've been watching a lot of videos. And there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's fungal infections that are coming up in hospitals. There's actually a fungus just like in that HBO thing where they were having fights, with this fungus monsters that took over people and they would grow inside the people. I mean, we're having these fungal infections now. We've got several different Marburg disease. We got Ebola. There's other diseases. And then the Russians want to nuke people. They keep threatening to. I'm surprised they haven't yet. I'm surprised they haven't nuked Ukraine. I expect any day to hear that these nuclear weapons on Kyiv and killed the president of Ukraine, along with a lot of people. I think that hopefully the world will hold them responsible if they do something like that. All right, so let's go on. I'm sorry, I keep getting buzzed by this bug. Have fruit in our house, so they're probably coming from that. And we open and close the back door, and we have the light on in the kitchen, so they're probably attracted to that. So, I want to talk to you about the fantasy that some preppers have. The fantasy is people building up their weapons, their guns, all their flak jackets and their armor, their multiple magazines and all that. First of all, most people that are going to go into a situation like that aren't going to live too long. Especially if the people that are after you are actually professionals. Been around enough military people, been worked in security field for a while. I'm going to tell you that most people are playing at being operators. Maybe you should take this money and go into getting food and water, because you're going to need water. Water, you can only live for 3 days without it. You can only live for 3 weeks without food. But you know what? You're going to run out of water a long time before food. Because even if tomorrow, let's say they launch some nuclear weapons, they're up blowing things up. Even if you have time to go to the store to buy some, other people are going to be doing that too. You need to get the water now. If you like to drink bottled water, buy a whole bunch of bottled water and drink it. Get yourself some filters, like a Brita pitcher, stuff like that. Get yourself some material and some buckets, because you're going to have to collect water outside after the radiation dies down, or whatever, if they use a disease or whatever, after it washes off the roof after several times. You're going to have to stay in at least 7 days. You're going to have to stay in another 14 days, probably for the radiation to be low enough for you to go outside. And I would say I would not collect any water for at least 2 months. So you need a minimum of 2 months, maybe 90 days worth of water. And like for me and my friend, we're two people. We have a dog and a cat. We're going to need water for 90 days for all that. So we're going to need about 3 gallons of water a day. So that's 270 gallons of water. I mean, if you think about it, that's a lot. I think we could do it. I mean, you don't have to have just water. That'd get pretty boring. I mean, you can get instant coffee. You can have coffee drinks, fruit drinks. That's what we're doing. You know, you're going to have food to get you through. I would say at least 3 months. Maybe you can get some other things you might need. Make sure you have snacks. It's going to be awful boring eating rice and beans. You're going to have rice and beans, and I think that's a very good idea. But you might want to think about having more than just rice and beans. I mean, we have a mixture of freeze-dried, we have a mixture of rice and beans, of canned foods. We have different kinds of waters, drinks, sodas, different things. And I tend to buy more in the next few months and store them. But you have to rotate this. You can't just leave it there forever. So, you know, buy your 3 months worth of water. Rotate it through the next 3 months. And as you rotate, you use up a flat, get an extra flat of everything you want to last. So as you drink these flats during the month, you can replace it. I mean, that's what I'm going to say. If you use a flat up, drink another flat. Get one more flat than the 90 days. So while things are still going, you can replace it. That's the best way I am going to tell you about that. If you can have a garden, you might want to grow a garden because, even if things fall apart, you may be able to salvage something later on. Then you may be able to grow a garden the following year or use some of the food. You never know. You might be able to wash some of it off. Remember, everything sealed in containers is going to be good. But I wouldn't plan on going to the stores and getting food that other people leave behind. You will be able to find some, but most of it will be picked through. And you don't want to take a chance with any damaged containers or jars that have been opened, especially after 3 months and you come out. Of course, you want to have a little more than the 3 months worth of food because, again, just like the water, you need to replace it and you need to rotate it. I personally would have at least 6 months worth of food or more. But anyhow, let's get back to the AKs and the ARs and stuff like that, and the bulletproof vests and all that stuff. Hey, remember, you can only take with you what you can carry. And if you're lucky enough to have a vehicle that's still running, or you can find one and the person doesn't need it anymore, being the fact they're gone or dead or whatever, and somebody else hasn't taken it, and there's gas in it, you got to think about that. Then you can bring it to your house and load your stuff in it and take it somewhere else. Or you could go get a truck. I mean, there's always businesses. There'll be trucks there that people will abandon. You can get one of those trucks, throw the stuff off if it's not usable, and then drive the truck to your house. Most people can drive a truck. And a lot of people, even if you know how to just drive an automatic, some trucks are automatic nowadays. So you're going to have to load up your stuff. You're going to have to take it to another place. You're going to have to go to a place that might be usable. I mean, watch sci-fi movies, watch series, like The Walking Dead, stuff like that. You can probably go to a jail, a hospital. Maybe you can fortify that, build up, get some other people who might want to work with you and offer them things. I mean, if you're ex-Army, if you're ex-security like I am, you can offer to be security for these people. And then you can train some of the people in there on how they can take care of each other. And It's not, everyone out there is not your enemy. There's going to be a lot of people out there that you're going to want to bring into your group if you make a group. Whether you have one to begin with or not, later on people are going to have to band together. So again, I will say there's only so much ammo that you can hang on to. There's only so much food. There's only so much water. So you might want to think about what you're going to do. I think the bugging out's a fantasy. You're probably going to want to bug in and only bug out if it's absolutely necessary. And when you do, you're going to put yourself at risk. Not only from radiation or diseases that are out there because that's how they use biological weapons, but you're also going to have problems because of other things. Think about it. And you're going to be giving up your security of the home that you know. It's all about the home that you know. And I'm not saying that after everything settles down and whoever's left, if I get a few people together, I wouldn't try to find something where I live that's more secure, and maybe see if we can get some of the people together and we go and we find the place and then we all move there and then make it more secure. You can brick up the lower windows. You can, especially if it's concrete or a building, you can go get plates from the road department. You can weld them. If you got somebody who knows how to weld, you can weld them on the outside of vehicles so they cover up the bottom, and you can pull the trucks into place and make yourself a wall around what you got, and hopefully there's a fence around it too. You can put that wall a few feet inside that fence, and you can build yourself a barricade. Read books, see what they do in the books, and in the survival books. Watch what they do in the movies. I mean, people say, "I just in the movies." Well, you can get a lot of good ideas from the movies. Remember that. You're not going to go out in the woods and live completely on your own. Sooner or later, you're going to have to meet up with people, and you're going to have to try to live. I mean, I would love, if the world stayed together, to have a place out in the woods, and that's what I ultimately plan on doing. But I know that it's not going to be an island. There's going to be other people out there, and sooner or later, I'm going to have to pull together with other like-minded people to survive. You have to. You absolutely have to. You can't do it on your own. You may not like some of the people that you're having to survive with. You may not be of the same religion. People fight so many wars over religion. They fight so many wars over political beliefs. They fight so many things over so many stupid things. Who they sleep with, who they love, what religion they are, and stuff. We will always fight wars as human beings until we realize that we need to take care of each other. We need to love each other. We need to quit fighting. I'm not saying let somebody walk over you. I'm not saying do this. But nothing, the United States, we have a Constitution. We have a Bill of Rights. That applies to everyone, straight, gay, bisexual, Christian, Muslim, anyone who becomes an American citizen, or anyone who was born as an American citizen. I was born as an American citizen. I feel I have more right to that. Plus, I served, which even gives me more right. So, people, why don't we start caring about each other? Why don't we quit fighting? You know that Biden and some of the Democrats, I'm not saying all Democrats, but some of them want to tear our country apart. It's only obvious, even though he's our president and he's our commander-in-chief. You got to realize that, and you have to respect that, but you got to realize that some people are causing a lot of problems for law-abiding people. They're letting criminals out. They're letting them steal $900 worth of stuff in California. And Gruesome Newsom, he's the head of that group there. He wants to put in a 28th Amendment. Well, you know what? Why don't you stay in California and continue screwing your own state up? Anyhow, tell everyone you love them. That's all I got to say today. Bye.